The red dust of Mars blew gently over the small research base. Ethan Cole stepped out of the airlock, pulling his helmet tight. The wind was thin, but it carried a strange warmth, as if the planet itself was alive in ways humans did not understand. Beside him, Laura King adjusted her scanner, watching the readings flicker on the screen. Jason Clark, their security officer, stood slightly behind, his eyes scanning the horizon. Mars had been quiet for decades. But quiet did not mean safe. "This is it," Ethan said, his voice calm, but filled with wonder. "The coordinates match the old satellite scans. Whatever is buried here, it's old. Really old." Laura nodded. She had been working on alien scripts for years, but nothing in her experience prepared her for what might lie beneath the surface. "I just hope we can understand it," she said. "If it's anything like what we've seen on the ancient probes, it could change everything we know about life in the galaxy." Jason frowned. "I hope it doesn't kill us first." They laughed softly, a nervous sound in the cold silence. The three of them moved carefully across the rocky plain. After a few minutes, they arrived at a narrow opening in the ground. The edges were jagged, but it looked like someone, or something, had dug a long time ago. A faint glow came from inside the hole. Ethan crouched, peering down. It was not natural. The walls seemed carved, polished in a way no human could do easily. Strange symbols ran along the edges, glowing faintly blue in the dim light. "This isn't just a cave," Laura whispered. "It's some kind of chamber." "Great," Jason muttered. "And I bet whatever is inside isn't going to welcome us." Ethan pulled a small tool from his belt. It projected a thin, laser-like beam that scanned the walls. The symbols flickered and shifted under the light. Ethan froze. "Laura, look at this." Laura stepped closer. Her scanner buzzed and clicked. The symbols rearranged themselves on her screen, forming shapes she had never seen before. "This isn't any language I know," she said. "It's alive, almost. It changes when we look at it." Jason's hand went to his sidearm. "Alive? Like, it moves?" "Not exactly," Laura said. "But it reacts. It responds." Ethan shook his head. "We need to go in." They descended into the chamber. The glow grew brighter, illuminating a massive obelisk in the center. It was black, tall, and smooth, standing without support. Symbols ran across every surface, flickering like a heartbeat. The air, or what passed for air in their suits, felt heavy. Ethan extended his hand toward the obelisk. The moment his fingers brushed the surface, a wave of energy passed through him. His visor displayed images he could not explain. Star maps, strange creatures, and cities that existed long before humans walked the earth. "What is this?" Jason whispered. He could feel his heart race. How old, how advanced. Laura stepped forward. "I think it's some kind of archive. It's storing information. Memories. Maybe even warnings." "Memories." The obelisk pulsed, and suddenly, a voice spoke. It was soft, but clear, in a language that sounded broken but familiar. "Ethan Cole. Inheritor. Wake." Ethan staggered back. I didn't say anything." "It knows our names," Laura said, her eyes wide. "But how?" The obelisk projected a holographic star map above it. Points of light blinked across the galaxy, thousands of them. Most were empty. Some had symbols, some had faded markers. One point glowed brighter than all others. "Earth. Look at this," Ethan said. "It knows about Earth." The obelisk pulsed again. The voice spoke more clearly. "Earth. Silent. Many tried. Failed. Warning left by every extinct race. Do not wake. Do not provoke. Jason's face went pale. Extinct race? What does that mean? Laura stepped closer to the hologram. It shows pictures, images of alien civilizations, all of them gone. Their ships, their cities, destroyed. Ethan swallowed hard. And they all left the same message about Earth. 3. This. RR. This. The obelisk's voice repeated. In several languages now, flickering between alien and broken human. We died. We failed. Earth only pretends to sleep. Pretends to sleep? Jason asked, frowning. What the hell does that mean? I don't know, Laura said softly. But it looks like humans, Earth, is more important than anyone realized. The obelisk pulsed faster, reacting to Ethan again. Images of strange weapons, unknown technologies, and star systems appeared, then vanished. Laura tried to record them on her scanner, but it seemed impossible to capture everything. The archive was too advanced. It moved too fast for human technology. Ethan, Laura said, her voice trembling, it called you inheritor. What does that mean? Ethan shook his head. I don't know, but I feel connected, like it recognizes something in me, in us. Jason stepped back. Well, if it knows us, maybe it knows why we shouldn't be here. The obelisk's glow shifted, showing one star system after another. Symbols marked races that no longer existed. Some were familiar from old galactic maps. Some unknown. Every one had the same mark of warning near Earth. The obelisk pulsed once more. It spoke in a calm, almost sad voice. Many tried to manipulate Earth. All failed. Humans adapt. Humans unite. Humans endure. Laura swallowed. It's like humans are dangerous when pushed. Like a hidden force. Ethan's mind raced. All these extinct civilizations. They tried something with Earth, and they all died? Why would they leave this warning? The obelisk's symbols shifted, forming images of old alien fleets attacking primitive human settlements, only to collapse under chaos and resistance. Guerrilla strikes, sudden rebellions, and inventions appearing far faster than possible. Every attempt to control humans ended in disaster for the invader. They underestimated us, Ethan said quietly. Every time, every single time. And they knew we were late bloomers, Laura added. Slow at first, but deadly once we start moving. Jason shook his head. Slow at first? We're talking about a species that still struggles with interstellar tech. How can we be dangerous? It's not about tech, Ethan said. It's about reaction. Humans don't fight like anyone expects. We adapt in ways they can't predict. The obelisk's glow softened, pulsing in rhythm with Ethan's heartbeat. Suddenly, the chamber lights flickered. Computers and scanners in their Mars base went wild, screens lighting up without command. Messages appeared in every language, flashing warnings and star coordinates. The archive had connected to their systems. What did you do? Jason shouted. I didn't do anything, Ethan yelled, though he felt the strange energy still coursing through him. It's alive somehow. Laura typed rapidly, trying to control the systems. It's not attacking, it's giving information. Maybe helping. But it's too much. Too fast. The obelisk spoke again. They come. They do not understand. The sleeper awakens. Jason froze. Ethan stepped back from the obelisk. His eyes were wide, heart racing. Far above Mars, something moved. A fleet appeared at the edge of the solar system. Massive ships. Unlike anything human had built, they did not respond to messages. They did not hesitate. The sensors showed advanced weapons and formations designed to crush resistance quickly. Earth Command received alerts almost instantly. The obelisk remained calm, its light pulsing slowly. They come to test. Do not panic. Observe, Laura whispered. We're not ready. No one is. Maybe no one is ever ready for this, Ethan said softly. But we have to learn. We have to understand. Ethan said, Aren't Tom and Seven? Anyway. And we have to understand. Jason looked from the obelisk to the fleet far above. His hand rested on his sidearm. Ethan and Laura exchanged a glance. Both felt it. Whatever was coming, Mars was no longer just a research base. It was the first point in a story the galaxy had almost forgotten. A story that involved humans, extinct races, and warnings written across time and space. The obelisk pulsed one last time as the human trio prepared for the unknown. The star maps, alien scripts, and warnings filled the room. And somewhere in the silence, Ethan realized, Earth might have been sleeping, but now, the galaxy was about to see it stir. The fleet hung at the edge of the solar system like a shadow. Miles above Mars, enormous ships drifted in formation. Black and cold, Ethan Cole, Laura King, and Jason Clark watched from the base control room, their faces lit by the red glow of emergency panels. Every sensor screamed a warning. The fleet's size and power were beyond anything human engineers had ever calculated. They're huge, Jason muttered, rubbing his eyes. How did they even get here without us noticing sooner? Laura tapped her scanner frantically. They've been hiding beyond the orbit of Neptune. They didn't trigger any of our early warning satellites. They waited for the right moment. They waited for the right moment. Ethan's jaw tightened. The obelisk knew they were coming. It said they were coming to test the sleeper. And now we know why. These aren't explorers. They're soldiers. Jason leaned against the wall. Great. Soldiers with enough firepower to erase Mars in one shot. The obelisk pulsed softly. Karen Dominion. They do not understand humans. Yet. Observe. Adapt. Survive. Laura shivered. It knows them? The archive knows every move before they make it? Not exactly, Ethan said. It knows what happened in the past. It knows the pattern of every race that tried to touch Earth. And it knows what humans do when cornered. That's why it called us the Sleeper. Jason cursed under his breath. So we're about to wake up in front of a galactic army. Perfect. On Earth, things were tense. News of the fleet's appearance reached global leaders. Rival nations, old enemies, now shared one fear. A massive alien fleet was approaching, and humans had no idea what these invaders wanted. Emergency sessions were called, and top officers scrambled to understand the threat. Maria Lewis, a systems commander in the United Nations Space Defense Division, stared at the holomap of the solar system. They're far out, but if they move fast, they'll reach Mars in less than 12 hours. We don't even know what their weapons can do. Daniel Price, a calm Navy officer, nodded. We need to coordinate. Every satellite, every orbital defense, every ground station. They need to be ready to respond instantly. There's something strange, Maria said. Our communications are off. Systems are acting on their own. Like something is running the calculations faster than humans can do. That's impossible, Daniel said, unless someone has a secret AI, or the archive on Mars, Maria finished. We've seen strange data patterns coming from the Mars base. It's affecting our networks. Back on Mars, Ethan, Laura, and Jason watched as the fleet moved. Small reconnaissance ships had entered the solar system, probing silently. Ethan tapped his wrist console. The Karen are arrogant. They assume humans are weak. They've seen our tech, our slow progress. They think they can force us into submission. But the archive said humans react differently under pressure, Laura said. It said every race that tried to control us failed. We adapt. We unite. We survive. Jason shook his head. Adapt? We're 3 people on Mars, scared out of our minds. How can anyone say we adapt? It's not just about us, Ethan said. It's about humanity. Humans act slow in peace, but when they are threatened, they change fast. Everything accelerates. Creativity, tactics, courage. We become something no one expects. Grounding, Armentry. The obelisk pulsed again, and the room filled with symbols and star charts. Karen plans will fail, it said simply. They cannot calculate human unpredictability. Oksava. Karen plans will fail. Karen plans will fail. Karen plans will fail. Karen plans will fail. The Karen fleet commander, a tall being with silver skin and black eyes, spoke on a secure channel. His voice was cold. Humans of Earth, we are the Karen Dominion. Your world is of interest. We demand submission. Resistance will be met with complete eradication. Earth Command scrambled to reply. We are not hostile. Please clarify your intentions. Submission, the Karen said, ignoring the message. You are primitive. You will obey, or you will be destroyed. We do not negotiate. Jason watched the communication feed. They're arrogant. They really think this will be easy. And that's exactly what the archive warned, Ethan said. Every invader thought the same. Laura studied the fleet's movements on her display. They're organized, disciplined. But look here. She pointed to a series of gaps in their formations. They're predictable. They expect humans to react slowly. They don't see how fast we can learn. Jason frowned. Fast learning won't matter if they blow the base to bits before we figure anything out. Ethan took a deep breath. We need to make them learn that humans are not weak. We need to show them. But carefully. We don't want to destroy Mars or Earth. The obelisk glowed, projecting images of past failures by other races, alien fleets crashing against human settlements long ago. Humans striking in unexpected ways. Using terrain. Improvising weapons. Even surviving with minimal technology. Each attempt by an invader had ended in disaster. The archive pulsed again. Observe patterns. Humans adapt faster than invaders anticipate. Laura's eyes widened. Every extinct race left the same warning. Earth only pretends to sleep. They underestimated us. And it killed them, Jason muttered. And now, it's our turn. Preparations on Mars began immediately. Ethan and Laura worked with the obelisk to understand what resources the base had. The archive revealed hidden supplies and old experimental devices long forgotten by human engineers. Jason set up barricades, sensor traps, and defensive strategies. They'll try boarding, Jason said. We can't match them ship for ship, but we can use the base and terrain. Every tunnel, every vent, every hallway becomes our advantage. Laura adjusted her scanner. The archive is helping. It's predicting their moves based on old attack patterns. We can set traps where they will step, channels they will enter. It's giving us a real chance. Ethan looked at the fleet outside. The Karen had begun positioning their main ships in an attack formation. They're moving faster than expected. If we don't act soon, Mars will be hit. Then we act, Jason said. We make them regret thinking this was easy. The first engagement happened hours later. Small Karen dropships entered the atmosphere, descending toward the base. Alarms blared. Jason led a security team armed with conventional weapons, but also with experimental devices enhanced by the archive. The Karen soldiers were confident, moving in neat formations. But humans did not act as expected. Traps activated, vents released clouds of gas that temporarily blinded the intruders, and hidden turrets fired with strange precision. The Karen stumbled, unprepared for the unpredictability. Ethan directed the defense, coordinating with the obelisk. Aim for their weak points. Use every advantage. They expect fear. Show them strategy. Laura hacked into the Karen drones, using signals suggested by the obelisk. Some ships malfunctioned and crashed. The invading troops were stunned. Their advanced tech was being outmaneuvered by humans they considered primitive. They're panicking, Jason said, a grin breaking his serious expression. I've never seen soldiers move so fast when they don't know what's coming. Ethan nodded. This is exactly what the archive warned about. Humans act slow in peace, but when pushed, we become unstoppable. The battle was intense. Casualties were minimal on the human side. Thanks to careful planning and the archive's guidance, the Karen began to retreat to regroup. Their commander communicated back to the fleet. Humans, unpredictable, impossible to calculate. Laura stepped back from the console, breathing heavily. Every extinct race. They all failed because they underestimated humans. And we almost made the same mistake. Just in reverse. We're not done yet, Ethan said. The fleet is still out there. They'll come back stronger. But now, they've seen what humans can do. Jason shook his head. I don't like it. This is bigger than Mars, bigger than Earth. They'll return, and they'll be angry. The obelisk pulsed once more. Anger will not save them. Humans will adapt again. Humans endure. Humans survive. The test has begun. Laura stared at the glowing symbols. Every extinct race left that same warning. And now it's up to us to prove we can handle it. Or the galaxy will see what humans really are. Road. End around. Ethan looked outside at the fleet, still waiting beyond Mars' orbit. He felt a chill. The archive said humans only pretend to sleep. Now, we're awake. Jason gripped his weapon. And they're about to find out. The red light of Mars bathed the base in a strange glow as alarms continued to ring. The Karen had tested humanity, and humans had passed the first challenge. But Ethan, Laura, and Jason all knew the real war was only beginning. The sleeper had stirred, and the galaxy would soon see that Earth was no longer quiet. Far below, on Earth, the first reports of the alien fleet reached every major city. Screens flashed with warnings. Satellites tracked unknown objects moving faster than any human craft. People everywhere paused, afraid and uncertain. Governments that had argued for centuries now had one thing in common: fear. Maria Lewis, a comm systems commander, stared at the network of feeds from space. This is bigger than anything we've ever seen, she said. We're looking at an alien fleet capable of destroying Mars. Maybe Earth too. Daniel Price, a Navy officer in charge of orbital defenses, nodded. And Mars is the first point of contact. If they break the base, it will be a warning to us. We need to prepare immediately. All defensive systems must be ready. Maria frowned. The strange thing. The systems are acting faster than human operators can respond. Some of the network has started adjusting calculations and defense protocols by itself. The Mars Archive, Daniel said quietly. Ethan Cole and his team. They're not alone down there. Something on Mars is helping them. Back on Mars, Ethan, Laura, and Jason were exhausted but alert. The Karen fleet had pulled back temporarily, regrouping beyond the outer planets. The base was damaged, but functional. Alarms had returned to a quieter hum. The obelisk pulsed gently, as if calming them. They're not gone, Jason said. They're just waiting, and I don't trust them to be patient. They're learning, Ethan said. The archive showed us that every invader underestimated humans at first. The Karen are beginning to realize. We're unpredictable. Laura tapped her scanner. The archive is still sending data. Not just maps. Not just warnings. Strategies. Predictions. Everything it can share. It's accelerating human learning at a speed we couldn't do on our own. Jason crossed his arms. So we're smart because a glowing rock told us how? Somehow that feels wrong. It's not the rock, Ethan said. It's the people. It's humans. The archive just helps us see what we're capable of. On Earth, the effect of the archive's signal became clear. Dormant defense systems, hidden projects, and old satellites activated automatically. Military systems that had lain unused for decades now hummed to life. Engineers, scientists, and officers across nations scrambled to understand why machines were moving faster, predicting outcomes better than human operators could. Maria leaned over a console, watching lines of code rearrange themselves. It's like the systems are thinking, coordinating on their own. Daniel glanced at her. Faster than we could possibly program. The Mars team must be connected to something. Something big. Maria bit her lip. If the archive is helping, then humans are going to be ready. Ready in ways the Karen can't imagine. The Karen fleet commander studied reports from reconnaissance drones. Humans. Unexpected. Data does not match predictions. They are reacting in ways we did not calculate. They are still primitive, his subordinate said. How can they adapt so fast? Primitive in technology, yes, the commander replied. But they are unpredictable. This is dangerous. Caution is advised. Back on Mars, Ethan and Laura worked with the obelisk to understand every pattern of the invading fleet. Symbols flashed across the walls, revealing past mistakes of other species. Humans had always been underestimated, the archive explained. Even tiny settlements had resisted invasions from multiple alien races in the distant past. The archive shows humans adapt faster under pressure, Laura said. We improvise. We unite. We survive. Number men. Number mender. I see. Number mender. I see. Number mender. Number mender. I see. Jason shook his head. So we're dangerous because we panic fast? That's what you're saying? Not panic, Ethan said. Adaptation. Humans are slow in peace. But when threatened, everything changes. Tactics. Technology. Cooperation. All of it. The obelisk pulsed. Humans endure. Humans learn. Humans unite. Those who underestimated them. Extinct. The Karen decided on a limited demonstration strike to intimidate Mars. Small assault ships began descending through the thin atmosphere. Alarms screamed. Humans braced for battle. Jason led a small security team through tunnels and vents, setting traps and preparing ambush points. We don't have their numbers, he said, but we have terrain, traps, and the archive. Ethan monitored the fleet, giving guidance based on the obelisk's calculations. Focus on their weaknesses. Don't waste shots. Surprise them. Laura hacked into Karen drones using signals suggested by the obelisk. A few ships malfunctioned mid-flight, crashing harmlessly to the surface. The invading troops were confused. They expected easy victory. They did not expect coordinated resistance. They're panicking, Jason whispered, smiling despite himself. I've never seen enemies so organized, fail so fast. This is exactly what the archive warned, Ethan said. Humans adapt under pressure. That's why every extinct race left a warning. While Mars fought for survival, Earth was rapidly organizing. Maria coordinated a global effort. Engineers and scientists worked day and night, modifying old satellites and space stations, upgrading defenses, and preparing humanity's first coordinated orbital fleet. The archive data is everywhere now, she said. It's making our systems smarter, faster. It's almost like we're learning at twice the speed humans normally do. Daniel nodded. We need that. The Karen will test us again, and we need to be ready not just on Mars, but across the solar system. The second attack came quickly. Karen dropships approached the Martian base again. This time, humans were ready. Vent traps released clouds of smoke and gas. Hidden turrets fired precise shots. The Karen soldiers stumbled, disoriented. Drones were hacked and turned against their own forces. The small human defense team moved with coordination. No one thought possible for such a small number of people. Ethan directed the defense like a general. Remember, they expect chaos. Show them strategy. Anticipate their moves. Laura's fingers flew over her console. They're reacting too slowly. I'm sending calculated signals to every drone and turret. Everything will work in sync. The battle was intense, but precise. The humans held the base. The Karen were forced to retreat temporarily. Confused and shaken. Their commander radioed back to the fleet. Humans, unexpected. Calculations failed, unpredictable. Jason leaned against a wall, exhausted but smiling. We just defended Mars from a fleet 10 times bigger than us. And they're already scared. Ethan nodded. They underestimated humans. That's their mistake. Every extinct race made the same one, Laura whispered, staring at the obelisk. They all left warnings. And now we see why. Earth only pretends to sleep. We may look small, but when forced, we are unstoppable. After the battle, Mars was quiet. The red dust settled over the base. The obelisk pulsed slowly, as if satisfied. Ethan, Laura, and Jason looked at each other. Exhaustion and fear were in their eyes, but also a spark of understanding. Humans were no longer just observers. They had begun to act, to defend themselves, to awaken a force the galaxy had not expected. This is just the beginning, Ethan said softly. The Karen will come back. They will be stronger. But now they know. We fight differently than they thought. And we'll keep learning, Laura added. Faster, smarter. That's how humans survive. Jason laughed quietly. I don't know if that's comforting or terrifying. Probably both. Jason. The obelisk pulsed one last time that night, its light filling the room. It displayed new star maps, new warnings, and new strategies. Humans endure. Humans unite. Humans survive. The test has begun. Outside the base, Mars was calm. Red dust drifted across the plains. The alien fleet lingered beyond the planets, watching, calculating. Somewhere in the dark expanse of space, the galaxy began to notice that humans were awake. And on Earth, systems continued to adapt. Satellites aligned. Defenses activated. Engineers and soldiers worked in unison, guided by the knowledge flowing from Mars. Humans were not yet fully ready for the galaxy, but the first steps had been taken. Ethan looked at Laura and Jason. We've seen what humans can do under pressure. Now, we need to see how far we can push it. The sleeper is awake, and the galaxy will know. Jason raised an eyebrow. Just hope the galaxy survives to see it. Laura smiled faintly. Or maybe it's time the galaxy learned to respect humans. The obelisk pulsed gently, its light reflecting in their eyes. A silent warning. And a promise all in one. The past was full of mistakes. But humans were different. They could endure. Mars had seen the first test. Humanity had passed. The real challenge was only beginning.